Hi friends! So today I'm going to do a quick tutorial on how to add some vinyl to shirts. I have my Cricut right back here and I'm going to cut out a logo for a friend's business and add it to 4 shirts, and I'll take you guys through that process, how to print it on the Cricut, weeding the image, adhering the image to the t-shirts with an iron because that's all I have, and then what the next steps will be after that. So stick around. Okay, so this is my friend's logo and I've just imported it into the Cricut Design Space software. I can right click, I can go to duplicate. Now I have a second image. I'm going to just move that down here. The software will move it around a little bit more for you unless you click the setting to not do that. So I'm going to go ahead and hit make it, and you can see I've got them both laid out, and I do want a little bit more space between these two so that I can cut it in half myself. So I'm just going to move that down. Okay, now I am putting these on a t-shirt, so I do need to mirror the images, and you can see that just flipped it backwards for me. I'm going to go to continue. Once you hit continue, it's going to make sure it's connected to the printer. If it's not connected, you'll need to select it there. Then you're going to choose the type of material. So in this case, I'm using the everyday iron-on. You're going to press this button on the Cricut to get the mat loaded. And then from there, you'll press buttons on the Cricut. I'm going to be doing 2 of these today, and I know that I need 12 inches of vinyl. So I'm just going to roll this out and kind of roughly measure the vinyl. And then I'm going to use my scissors to go ahead and cut that sheet. And let's see here. And I do need one more. Ooh, I may not have enough. It looks like it might be just enough. So I'm going to have to make sure I get this set up properly. Okay, so to set the vinyl up, you can see, and you want to look on all of the instructions of the particular vinyl that you get, because some of them are different, but usually with the t-shirt kind, the shiny side is going to go down because this is the layer that adheres to it. So that's what we're going to do this time. So shiny side compared to the dull side. So I'm going to put the shiny side down. So I need to take off my cover. Bring it to the side. And then get this lined up. Sometimes it's easier when you don't have such a big sheet, but one tip is to roll it and line up the top. And if you cut it pretty straight, then it should be okay. And looking pretty good. Okay, so you want to make sure that your vinyl is not going to come up when it is cutting. So you want to get something like a credit card or something with a felt edge and a hard edge. I just used this piece of card that came with a screen protector for one of our tablets, and I just smooth this across the vinyl and just make sure it's really stuck down. That way it won't pop up and crinkle or anything like that. So now my sheet is ready. Once you've hit the proper button on the computer, you will see this light start to blink, and that lets you know that it's ready to load. So you want to slide the mat in under these little notches right here. There's one on both sides, and it kind of stops once you slide it so far. So once you've got it slid there, you're going to hit this button to get it started get it set up. Then once it's ready, the cut button is going to light up, and then you will press the cut button. You can sort of see some of the faint lines where it's already cut. It's a little hard to tell on the black material. When the cut is finished, you press this button to unload the mat. And if you have yours hanging off of a shelf like mine, you're going to want to have your hand ready to catch it. And here you can see the cut is ready for weeding. And that's the next step. Okay, so this one here, actually I accidentally unplugged the Cricut as it was cutting, and unfortunately the Cricut doesn't go back where it left off when that happens. So I tried to just continue from where it was, and you can see this right side actually came out just fine, but on the left side you can see that mess up cut on the bottom. So I was hoping that I might be able to salvage this, but I don't think I can. I should be able to just recut this piece and fit it back into the middle and just line it up perfectly, because this over here is not messed up in any kind of way. So it's going to be a little bit tricky, but it should come out just fine. The only thing is I ran out of black vinyl, so I'm going to see if there's enough space in this section, or I have a few other scraps. So that's one reason why it's really important to save your scraps, so you can correct any little mistakes by just doing a small cut instead of redoing this. This is a large amount of vinyl if you have to redo that. So when you are peeling the vinyl off the mat, it does help to bend the mat back and then kind of peel as you go, and that helps. With these intricate type designs, when I am weeding it, which weeding just means taking out all of the pieces that are not going to be applied to your shirt. So when I'm doing that, I like to keep the design on the screen, so that way I have something to reference. It can be really tricky to know what should go away and what should stay, especially with an intricate design like this. So I've got that up on the screen ahead of me, and then down here is where I have the project that I'm going to be working on. And I keep a couple of tools handy. So one is going to be some type of tweezers. That just helps to pull pieces off if they're hard to get off. I also have this tool, which these it's a set of like 5, I think, from Harbor Freight for like $1. Whereas the Cricut tools are a bit more expensive, so this works just as well. Sometimes the tips get a little bent, and I can just bend it back or just use a different one, since so many come in that pack. But the pack comes with different angles, so that's really good. And then I like to have just a scrap box, so I can, whatever trash pieces that I pull off, I can put into here. And then the last thing I like to have is tape. It helps with the small pieces if you can just stick them to a piece of tape to get them off. Some people put on their finger or might put it down on the desk in front of them, so they can just easily weed out a piece and stick it to this so that it doesn't stay on your tool and get in the way. Alright, so I'm just going to start pulling out some of these larger pieces that won't be on the shirt. For the larger pieces, I don't really use the tape. But for the smaller pieces, I do. And you can take off the surrounding part first, but I like to leave that sometimes because your hand will stick to it, or pieces of the vinyl may stick to it, and so sometimes it's just easier. And be careful with this tool because you can poke yourself and it will hurt, and I have done it multiple times. so when you're done, you have to make sure that none of these little specks are on here, because those will adhere to the shirt, and then you'll have an out of place little item. Okay, now I have my finished design. Once you have everything cut out, the next step is going to be to line up your design on your shirt. And you want to find the middle of your design in the middle of your shirt. And you can fold the shirt in half and press it to get that line, but it's pretty easy to figure that out. The hardest part for me is just making sure it's not crooked. So you just kind of have to eyeball it up. Sometimes if you move the shirt near the edge, that may help, but you just have to line it up. And then you want to cover your design with parchment paper when you press it. So just get a piece of that. Don't use wax paper. I notice sometimes that leaves like a residue, so I just use parchment paper. And then you can buy a heat press, but I'm not doing that many shirts, so I don't have a heat press. So I'm just going to use my iron. It works fine. You just want to make sure you put a lot of pressure and that your iron is really hot. You do not put any water in the iron. So I just have it turned up to a high setting, and there's no water in this, and it's already warmed up and ready to go. So I'm just going to press it onto the design, hold it for 10 seconds, and then move to the next section until it's complete. You want to push pretty hard. Okay, once you press it, you can look at your wax paper, and you want to check and make sure the image has adhered to the shirt and that it doesn't lift. So see, that's lifting, so I need to press it again. This side looks a lot better, so that side's probably fine. So I'm going to just add the paper back, put a little bit more pressure over here. And you should be able to see the fibers through the image. It is sticking a little bit right here, so I'm going to press it again in the middle. And then once you get the transfer paper off, you want to go ahead and put your parchment paper back on top, and you want to just kind of iron over top of your design to make sure any final pieces are set. There, you can see the design is complete. You can see you might not be able to see it too well on the camera, but everything is set on there. It's not going to peel up.